This is no one from nowhere, and you are, and I am a spirit of God. Today I want to talk to you about the Alpha Draconis Orion Anunnaki, Soul Ghost Archon Reptilian Holographic Matrix revealed. First, a couple jokes. What rooms do ghosts avoid? The living room. And why are most ghosts vegetarians? Because it's supernatural. First, let's go to Matthew 14:26. When the disciples saw him, Jesus, walking on the water, they were terrified. In their fear, they cried out, "It's a ghost!" What does Jesus say about ghosts or souls or spirits in recycle as potential? You be the judge, archons. Found in Matthew 12:43 through 45. When an unclean evil spirit leaves a person, it goes into the desert, seeking rest but finding none. Then it says, I will return to the person I came from. So it returns and finds its former home empty, swept, and in order. Then the spirit finds 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they all enter the person and live there. And so that person is worse off than before. This will be the experience in this evil generation. Thank you so much for the 3,000 subs. We know that this is a unique channel and experience. Please leave your comments so that we can grow as one, respectively, and as usual, you be the judge. Are we in an Alpha Draconis Orion Anunnaki Soul Ghost Archon Reptilian Holographic Matrix? Now Jesus mentions above that the spirits find 7 other spirits to live in. The term number 7 is truly very amazing. We have 7 days of the week, 7 continents, the 7 Pleiades, or the 7 sisters, the 7 spirits of God, the 7 candlesticks. This number goes on and on and on. But today I will give you one reason, is that the Theosophist Helena Petrovna Blavatsky in her book described 7 root races in the secret doctrine. The first called the Polarian, or ether, or amoeba. The second root race is called the Hyperborean, or the golden yellow. The third root race is the Lemurian. The fourth is the Atlantean root race. The fifth root race she names is the current, according to her called the Aryan. And when the first Aryans, about 100,000 years ago, began to incarnate in the bodies of Atlanteans from 1 million years ago. So she's regarding to reincarnation. The sixth root race, she says, will begin in the 21st century in California and will be, interestingly enough, be under a single world government and use nuclear power and have psychic powers. The 7th root race will be called the Pushkara and will be arising out of the Pacific Ocean. Next, I take you to Amos 5:8. He who made the Pleiades and Orion and turns the deep darkness into the morning and darkens the day into night who calls for the water of the sea and pours them out on the surface of the earth. The Lord is his name. The other reason why the number 7 is so interesting is because it is where, at a high probability, where the Anunnaki are from, the Alpha Draconis Orion group. The Orion is represented in cuneiform as 7 dots. A group of renegade reptilian shapeshifters, otherwise known as Nordics, fallen angels, and Archons from the Alpha Draconis Orion constellation, came from the 4th dimension to inhabit 2 worlds. They are very cunning and running between these dimensions, using stargates, and they are beyond human sensory or our 5 senses perception, and its members to most are invisible to humans, allowing them to work behind the scenes. Popular wisdom calls them angels, fallen angels, demons, or evil spirits. The reptilian Anunnaki, sometimes referred to as Seekers, is the oldest reptilian race in our galaxy, spread over multiverses and creating many worlds with great numbers and variations. They are highly evolved, and they use genetic DNA manipulations to terraform other worlds, including creating our Earth and human beings. Much of our DNA is reptilian and Caucasian from Iran or Aryan, and also from the Caucasoid Mountains. The Great Awakening found in Luke 22:10 is based on the age of Aquarius. Next, let's go to Genesis 1:26. Then God, or Anu, said, "Let us make human beings in our image to be like us. They will reign over the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, the livestock, all the wild animals on the earth, and the small animals that scurry along the ground." So if they made us, created human beings, we can assume with little doubt that they created the earth, and to our DNA holographic prison, let us think we have dominion over Earth. The prison planet is a guardian-type host or archon and uses nets that are grids, ley lines, meridian lines, that uses reptilian alien technologies for consciousness erasing for all multi-planets, including Earth and the inhabitants. This brings attention through awareness to the false light or false ascension or phantom ghost soul matrix. This includes repeating recycling of souls with multitudes of traps so we may not ascend, and they use mind control and DNA genetic programming in attempts to snare us by dividing us. Because if they divide the human population, we will not complete the law of one, or you could say Christ versus Antichrist consciousness. This is the Alpha Draconis Orion Anunnaki Soul Ghost Holographic Reptilian Matrix. Next, I take you to the Lost Book of Enki. Enki says the being that we need, it already exists. So were you, Enki, saying all we need is to put our mark on it, thereby primitive workers to fashion, healing heroines themselves put at risk? Nimwa and Ninki were endangered? To no avail. It was all your handiwork and was a failure. Now the last bits of our life essences to these creatures you have given, to be like us in procreation, knowing perchance our life cycles on them bestow. The Anunnaki goddess Nintu, Mammy, Mommy, Mom, Ninhursag, is known to be the mother goddess, and her symbol is the Omega, pictured here. Today I leave you with the Atrahasis creation myth. Enki made his voice heard and spoke to the great gods. On the 1st, 7th, and 15th of the month, I shall make purification by washing. Then one god should be slaughtered, and the gods can be purified by immersion. Nintu shall mix the clay with his flesh and his blood. Then a god and a man will be mixed together in clay. Let us hear the drumbeat forever after. Let a ghost come into existence from the god's flesh. Let her proclaim it as his living sign, and let the ghost exist so as not to forget the dead god. They answered yes in the assembly. The great Anunnaki who assign the fates. Why do ghosts like to ride elevators? Because it lifts their spirits. Peace and love to you.